Welcome to Vampire Radio! You are watching Vampire Radio here on the Monty and the Pharaoh channel. Of course, I am your hostess with the mostest, Shelly from Kelly. And of course, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Minnie the Moocher, and Jack Martinez, the podcast dogs. And let me tell you guys something. I'm sick. I hate admitting it, but I just have to. You know, they say when you can admit something, that's the first steps to getting better, moving forward, whatever. Okay, so now I'm here to say that I'm sick. So earlier today, I recorded a new TMI with the Chadster. So make sure on Friday to check that out on my main channel on YouTube, Shelly Martinez channel. And it was rough for me. It was still a great show. I still had a lot of fun, cool conversation, but it took a lot out of me. So I told myself that after doing TMI, which was in the morning, I was gonna take a little break ski and then collect myself, get something to eat, and record this part right here that I'm recording for you guys. And it is about 10 o'clock at night at this point. Yeah. And I'm just now doing it because I just couldn't get myself together. I just could not get it together. So I got it together enough. Here I am. Take me or leave me. That's up to you. But here's what's exciting. I don't have to record a full episode feeling this way because I've been working on this I don't want to say interview, but I did a new Talking Shit is what I did. So Talking Shit was a podcast that I had with my homegirl, ACR, Amanda Rodriguez. Shout out to her. And that's exactly what we would do. Talk some shit. And for me, it was a way to collab with Amanda. I've been friends with her for a really long time. And just have those conversations that's why we're friends and we have conversations like that, right? So I thought, what better? Let's do talk. Like I had her, I was like, would you do this with me? Like whatever. So then we did it for a while. We have some great episodes and they're going to be revisited. The first one that I did was our first episode, which was it 1 or 2 episodes back? Go look on the Monty and the Pharaoh channel. And it speaks for itself, and especially because we're 2 gals from the world of wrestling. So it was really cool. So be prepared for those coming soon. But I thought, you know what? I want to do more. And right now, with life, it's hard to coordinate with people. So I thought, I don't have to just do them with ACR. I can do them with my other friends because the whole reason why I wanted to do Talking Shit in the first place was to have an excuse to hang out with my friends. We're collabing and getting things done, getting my content, if you will. So that's what I was getting with ACR, and I was like, man, I want to do this again, but this time I got to bring Chrissy Rivera. Now, Chrissy Rivera is somebody I met back in the day, brother, sister, and we became friends. The way we came together was very, what's the right word I'm looking for here? She came into my life, like when we became like friends, and started connecting at a time where I needed a friend like that the most. And it's been so cool that because that was so long ago now that we've seen each other, different versions of each other now, she's a mom, and it's just been so cool, to have that kind of a friend, and I thought, I want to do this with her, and because we are always on the random talking some shit. And I thought, man, this would make for some good content. So I asked her if I could record with her. Of course, she was like, all right. And it was a perfect timing because Chrissy is now on the Hatchets, Heels, and Honeys podcast with Noel Lagrasso on the Russo brand. And I just think it's so awesome. We get into it in the episode, of course, but I think I babbled enough. So let's get into some talking shit. All right, here we are back with a brand new Talking Shit. And this week we have the one, the only, Chrissy Rivera.
Thank you for having me. So excited.
Me too. So here on Talking Shit, that's just what we do. We just roll with it. We talk shit. There's no like, oh, so how'd you get in the business? We've already all heard it. We've been there. So we're just gonna get right into it. Something you brought up to me. Hold on.
Yes, the hat.
Something you brought up to me is how right now it's huge in pop culture, on the Twitterverse, whatever, social media. This Jim Carrey clone. Right before we came on, right, I came on here with you, I saw a post. Let's see here. It doesn't exist anymore. Interesting.
That makes it even better. It makes it even better than seeing the actual videos that it was taken down in the time that we talked about it.
My gosh.
Was it the one of him talking where they were asking him if he was a clone? Was it that one?
No. Oh, did I screenshot it? Please, Shelly. Shelly, I think you might have. There's a chance. There's a chance I screenshot it.
Because there was a video of somebody like straight up asking him if he was like a clone or something like that. That was on there.
I screenshot it. No.
It's gone. It's gone.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
You know what's crazy though, and this is gonna totally show my age, is like there's just so many things online now that are like AI that like even for me sometimes it's hard to like tell if it's real or not. And I kind of like said, I'll never be one of those where I get fooled by AI or whatever, because a lot of times they have like 7 fingers or something crazy, but stuff is like getting so real that like I'm like, that's AI. Or is it not AI? I can't tell anymore.
Okay, so what's interesting is when I text myself that link so that I can do it on here, it shows the preview of that tweet. So when I click on it for a split second, it'll show up. Split second, boom, then gone. So I'm trying to screenshot before.
I wonder if you could copy the link too.
Okay, got it.
You got it. Okay.
Okay, let me text it so then I can get it on the computer here. We're over here talking shit, but cracking down so we can see what's going on with Jim Carrey
and this clone.
Just okay. Okay, let me see if StreamYard lets me share that screen.
I hope so, because this whole story is like insane to me. When I saw it, I was like, I know Shelly will be all about this. There it is.
Okay. So this gal, Lena, says, have y'all seen what Alex Stone posts? Well, friends, it turns out the whole Jim Carrey thing was a social experiment and it was Alexis.
Is that like legit though?
But here's the thing, going back to your AI, who knows? So if we go over, let me just go back. If you go to that person's thing, it's still on their story, and they whether it's AI or not, like you said, to your point, they seem to be in Paris, which was where the film festival was.
Right.
The thing, the award. So I just wanted to bring this before we get into like the whole thoughts I have on it. I just wanted to bring this up because this was like literally right before like I was setting up and everything. I was like, wait a minute, what? That kind of makes sense too. Here we go. Oh, I can't see their it's too hard. That's what she said. But anyways, the point is this Alexis Stone person.
Uh-huh.
Wait, hold on. Maybe I could screen. It's on their story, and I'll just show it on the screen here. Because I could do it on Instagram. Okay, so here's this dude. He's in Paris.
Okay.
And then there's like the Jim Carrey hair, the teeth, the thing, and that's with the girl, and that's the next thing that comes on his story.
Okay.
So on his actual page, it says he's in Paris, France, and it says Alexis Stone as Jim Carrey in Paris. And that's what the official post is for this person that's posting this. And this person, this Alexis Stone, because I don't know who that is, has 1.3 million followers. So you know they're a part of it. So that was a very interesting twist, because before seeing that, when you sent it to me, of course, it was all over the place. I wasn't paying attention. So I was like, okay, whatever, Jim Carrey. And then when you brought it to my attention, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting, actually. And so a couple of thoughts I had on it was, what if, because there's so many what ifs. I don't know if you agree with that, but there's so many what ifs. What if this is somebody that, or what if that is Jim Carrey, but he's had so much plastic surgery and Botox and all this? And I know a lot of people can be like, yeah, but still, but it's like, no, if you look at people who have been doing it for a long time, and maybe he has, it just wasn't really noticeable. And then he kicked it up a few notches as he got older and more insecure about it, you know? A good example, actually, Vince freaking McMahon. He looks weird now. He does not look how he probably would have aged if he just didn't do anything. But obviously, he's been getting work done. Bruce Jenner, another one, before he transitioned. I'm talking about pre-transition, when he was living as a male still. Very different. So here, Gene Simmons, even though it looks like Gene, we're so used to the way he looks now, but if we put it to the old Gene of his heyday, so I could see it just being Jim Carrey, and he got wrapped up in just messing with his face. But then his energy behind when he was talking. Yes. And then I thought, okay, you never know. Maybe he had some kind of moment and he has more peace in his life or whatever. But it didn't seem like that. And I'm very sensitive to those vibes. And it just didn't come, like, I was like, it's cute, I want to think that. But I don't think that's it. So what are your thoughts?
See, I try not to fall into the rabbit hole too deep on these things, but this one was so interesting to me because when I saw that video that I sent to you, I was like, not only does it not look like Jim Carrey, he's not acting like Jim Carrey. Like, they're interviewing him, and obviously we know Jim Carrey for years has this persona. There's only one Jim Carrey. Everybody knows who he is, how he acts, his shtick, everything. And he just didn't, like you said, like, his energy was different. So it didn't seem like him. And I do agree with the plastic surgery thing, because some people go overboard, and you could get like eyelid surgery or whatever it's called, and it can change the whole look of your face just doing that. But there was also like a video I saw earlier of like him a couple months ago. It was like 4 months ago, where he looked like original Jim Carrey, and then this one. And I'm like, such a big change from then until now. And I'm like, this is just so bizarre to me. He's not acting like him. He doesn't look like him. So like, am I going to fall into this rabbit hole that there's a clone? Like, it could be. It could be.
It could be. And then here's the thing. I'm right there with you. Okay, so I want to because here's the thing. I want to debunk all these things. So I'm going at it every which way, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe it's the simple answer is going overboard with plastic surgery and procedures. And then, like I said, one could say maybe he had his God moment, who knows? And that changes people drastically. And I could see that. And I've seen people have that kind of transformation, but it just still didn't, at the end of the day, quite feel right and didn't sit right with me. And then when I thought, well, maybe I'm being a jerk. What if that is the case? Because I always want to give people benefit of the doubt. And then that's when he said something about, like, he made some kind of quippy answer of like, oh, my favorite mask is the one I have on right now. And so then there was like that made me not trust that. I almost out of just wanting Jim Carrey to be better. Because here's the thing, one of the things that bothers me about Jim Carrey is throughout the years, he's been known as this whistleblower in town when it's like, no, he's not. He's part of them. And one of the things that he has to do, it's called, I forget what the word is. It's called karmatic something. That's what these, allegedly, I got my tinfoil hat on. Allegedly, these people of status have to tell you what they're doing for their own karma and keeping that balanced. So being I'm a tinfoil hat wearer, and I wanted to believe that Jim Carrey maybe is better, because when I'd see him do these, like Jimmy Kimmel, when he's like, oh, come on, Jimmy, you know, and everyone's like, see, he tried to warn us. No, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Does that look like a person trying to warn you? That looks like a person being erratic and just like has an agenda behind why he's telling you these things.
Right.
So, in my opinion. So, I wanted to see a more, who is Jim Carrey? Who are you? That guy that, like, when Jenny McCarthy used to go out with him, who she knew, you know, when he was turned off and he wasn't being the Jim Carrey character and he was just being Jim. Good old Jim. Like, so that's why I wanted to give him that benefit of the doubt of like, maybe he had like a moment. Maybe this is the real him that he's hidden from us this whole time. And he's old and tired and too much plastic surgery. And he just wants to just like move on. But then he said that comment, the mask I have on. And then that's when I was like, that's someone in a mask.
I don't know. I don't know. But like you said, like, then I think of other celebrities, right? Like Pamela Anderson, right? Known for being gorgeous. And I still think to this day she is gorgeous. But now you see her on all these award shows, no makeup, you know, hair back, all natural, because she's just over being a sex symbol, right? That was what she's been all her life and she's over it. So maybe Jim Carrey's over being the funny guy, doesn't want to be the funny guy, doesn't want to be who he's portrayed all these years, and he's, you know, going for something different. Or it's a gig. Could it be a gig just to get people talking, right? Like, it could be that too, like some Truman Show shit. Like,
absolutely. And then didn't they say that he even said a quote from the Truman Show movie? I think I saw something circulating. So see, it's like, here's the thing, being because it always comes back to wrestling, doesn't it, sister? Wrestling taught me 9 times out of 10, you're just being worked, you freaking marks.
And I think that's our problem, right? We always think we're being worked. So we're like, wait, I got to dig into this because nobody's going to work me.
Like, yeah, no one's going to work me. If it's going to be real, it's going to be real. But if it's the work, I'm not going to be worked.
No, I'm going to be like, I knew that was not real.
So that's why it tripped me out when I saw that post just before setting up, because when he said the thing about the mask, that's when I was like, oh, that's Jim Carrey. It's not only not him, but it's someone in a mask. And so that post popped up. And then now it's like, you guys saw. It's weird. It's hard to find, I guess. And then whoever this Alexis Stone person is, it is.
Yeah, I have to like look that person up because I've never heard of that person.
So I don't know. And then let's go back to the receipts of this is that person's story right now. There they and then doing this little dance. Does that mean something? I don't know. It could. I'm wearing the tinfoil hat. It could mean a lot.
Signaling Jim Carrey, like he could be signaling him.
Yep. And then there's that. And then who's next? And that's his official post.
But then is this guy doing this for clout? Because I mean, he's got 1 million followers, so like he doesn't necessarily need the clout, but also he's got to keep up that, right? So is he just doing this to garner some attention? Maybe it's like a slow season for him. I don't know who he is, but
I don't know either. You could be right, man. I think we're right about everything. I think every single thing we've said today is right. It just depends on what timeline you're on. The thing is like, and with Jim Carrey, for me, okay, so I was never like a huge Jim Carrey fan because of him always being that on character. It got on my nerves.
Mhm.
But when he was in Living Color, that's when I first got introduced to him, which I'm sure many did too, as
Mhm.
well. I thought he was hilarious, like because he was funny and he had these over the top like skits he would do and stuff. But I felt like I saw him kind of simmer down here and there, and
Mhm.
then by the time like The Mask came around and all that, I never seen that movie. I never seen Ace Ventura, like any of those, because he gets on my nerves. So fast forward the last 10 years or so, certain things have kind of popped up on my timeline one way or another about him.
Mhm.
And there has been moments where I've seen footage of him kind of just being a normal guy. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like I'm saying, like I wanted to believe that my first suspicion was right. That
Mhm.
he's, like you said, just over it, and going back to Pamela Anderson.
Mhm.
Do you know who Jaguar Wright is?
Mm-mm.
No. She's this gal. Oh, it's if you want to go down a rabbit hole. She comes from the hip hop community, and she like calls a lot of people out, like Jay-Z and all these different people that are like mixed up, whatever. And one of the things that stuck with me when I seen an interview she did was she's talking about Pamela Anderson. She goes, because she gets real in her feelings when she talks. She's like, "Why do you think Pamela Anderson's running around with no makeup? She don't want them to clone her. She doesn't want them to clone her. So she's letting everyone see that she is aging. That's why she's not wearing any makeup." That's what she said. So going back to this whole Jim Carrey, the whole thing, maybe
Mhm.
that, and then you didn't know that story. You brought up Pamela Anderson. I'm just here with my tinfoil hat, connecting the dots, perhaps here. But the first thing I thought of when you said Pamela Anderson was Jaguar Wright saying that she doesn't have her makeup on anymore because she doesn't want to be cloned.
It could be. It's all connected. It's all connected. Could we on this show connect all the dots of the Hollywood elite? Like, could we crack the code they've been trying to crack for years? Like,
It's crazy. And I look forward to and then here's the other thing. With my second strike with this is for being a work, one way, shape, or form,
Mhm.
whether it's a clone or something else, is how it's like blowing up so much. It's too much. Like
Right.
things that are like very like they need to be talked about, in my opinion, tend to get swept under the rug unless you're looking for those things. It's not really being talked about. And people often say, "How is this not being talked about?" Well, because it gets so when you have the second coming of Jim Carrey going on right now with social media,
Mhm.
that makes me go, I don't know.
Especially if he hasn't done a movie in a while, right? I was over here trying to think of like what was the last Jim Carrey movie that has been like talked about like
Mhm.
at such a level, right? And I was like trying to like look it up while we were talking and I couldn't find like quickly a recent movie. So I'm like, could he be doing this for a movie? Like,
You never know. And that's why I'm just, they almost got me. And then going back to seeing Jim Carrey's footage in the last like 10 years or so, when I've seen him be like more just himself and like making sense and all this,
mhm.
it made me kind of like him a little bit. And so the fact that I hated him so much for so long because he just got on my nerves and was too much, like it triggered me when he said the mask I'm wearing right now. Because it's like, you little bitch, you almost had me flip and like you again. And like now I'm like, no, dude, what's going on? Like you almost got me. And I don't like that. Cause like you said, you're not gonna work me, brother. Jim Carrey, etc. You're not gonna work me, brother.
Not getting worked by Jim Carrey. No, absolutely not.
So here's the thing, before we close this topic here, you know, this whole Jim Carrey thing, it kind of has had me a little messed up, not because so much of Jim Carrey, but like the questioning of like what is real, what is not. And I feel like now that I say it out loud, I've kind of been in a mood in a way because it's triggered every single person who I ever felt that way about. And I didn't realize that. And so it's now Jim Carrey has not only gotten on my nerves all these years, not only have I been upset with him, not once, but now twice, because I feel you're working me, brother. But now you're bringing up trauma of people who I feel worked me that I wanted to like or I liked. It's too much. You're too much, Jim Carrey, etc. And now you're making it way too much for me because I wasn't ready this week. It's been a hard week to go
Poor Jim
there.
Carrey. Like everybody thinks he's cloned, that he died, and there's a new one, and now he's got this like burning feud with you.
He does. Not poor Jim Carrey. You're on my side. Okay? You're on my side. Not poor him. He made his bed.
That is true. That is true. And I've been told Sonic 3 was his last movie.
Oh, that's right. That was like a few years ago, right? I guess
2024.
Oh. Well, there you go. All right, Jim Carrey, etc. You keep throwing out the codes like the little Riddler you are. Oh my gosh, he played the Riddler, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
See? All connected.
All connected.
All right,
We're
time
gonna solve it. We're gonna solve it.
Tinfoil hat off, man. It's too much. It's too much, especially for a Sunday fun day. So here's the thing. I'm sorry I have to do this because it's my keyboard just unplugged. So you know it always goes back to wrestling, and I have to go here with you. Hold on a second. Okay, we're gonna go to your Twitter feed over here.
Oh God.
We're gonna go to your Twitter feed because, as the kids say, this clip right here lives rent-free in my mind. Here we go. Watch. Perfect. It is so perfect. And then the look on your face.
Pretty sure I busted my knee pretty bad on that too.
Oh, you could never tell. You could never tell. Look at the face. Yes, bitch. Very pirate right here. Oh, I love it. I love it. It, like I said, like the kids say, it lives rent-free in my head. And unbeknownst to you, I mean, we've been good friends for years. Sometimes I go on your feed just to look at that. I swear to God.
That was a fun match. That was fun. It ended with my demise though. I actually took a Michinoku off a scaffold through a table at the end of that match.
What's a Michinoku?
A Michinoku driver.
Yeah.
I'll have to find the clip of it, but it was on it was like all over for a while, where I climbed a scaffold. It was like a tag match, and it was cage of death, and it was crazy. They had scaffolds and tables, and they had those ropes, all that stuff. And this guy, Devin Moore, was climbing, and I had like a feud with him throughout the months at CZW, where I was doing stuff to him, like low blowing him. I threw him off like a ring truck at Tournament of Death, like all this crazy stuff. This is when CZW was good. Okay. So like this was 2012, I think. So the feud came to a head at that match, and he climbed the scaffold. I climbed in after him. I went to give him a low blow at the top. He had a flask because he was in some team that was like always drinking. He had a flask in his crotch. So I ended up hurting myself. He pulled the flask. The crowd went berserk.
Oh my God.
I went to climb down. He grabbed me, flipped me over, and I never took a bump like that before, like off a scaffold. I was like terrified to take that. And so what I did was I held my breath from the time I was at the top to the time I went through the table. Biggest no-no ever, because it literally knocked the air out of my lungs. I couldn't breathe. I was laying there and I was like, and the ref was like squeezing my hand. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, like I couldn't breathe. And then they took me to the back because like obviously I'm out of the match at that point. But like they're like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, I couldn't breathe. They're like, "Did you you held your breath?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was terrified." And they're like, "Never hold your breath doing something like that." But that's what I did. And knocked the wind right out of my lungs.
Well, I love that clip even more now. Like, because here's the thing. I guess when we first like became friends, I saw that clip. So, because I remember it's been in my, like I said, living rent free in my life for many, many years. And I just always loved it because I like the confidence you have the entire time. And like I said, those little things like that people don't think about that matter so much. And correct me if I'm wrong, I feel it's because you were feeling it. You were in it. You were it in that moment. And I just love it. And there's times I know this sounds so dumb, and I've been waiting to tell you this in person. So here we are. It's better. I mean, not better, but as best as we can get right now. Um, there's times like when I feel like I can't do something sometimes, and I watch your clip, and that's why I'm saying sometimes I go to that, and I'm like, I can do this, and then I do it.
Oh, stop.
I swear to you, like I swear to you. So thank you for that. And so whatever that meant, because I'm like hearing the whole thing what you just said right now, like I can imagine I would have been so scared. But that's wrestling, sister. And like that's what I love is that you come from that era of when wrestling, no offense to how it is now, but it just had a different definition then.
100%. And like, if we're gonna be real, I'll be real with you. Like, that was such a low point in my life at that time. Like, personally, I was like going through a divorce and like had to see my ex at that show and stuff like that. And I was really in a bad place mentally. So I think like that almost helped me a little bit, which sounds crazy because I knew he was there. Was like a hot mess. And I was like, I was torn down so much about how I can't do things, how I'm not good enough to do things, how I don't deserve the spots that I get or the recognition that I get or the work that I put in is not good enough because I'm not a big star or indie star or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Like, F this. Like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to like bust my ass and I'm going to do it the best way I know how. And there was like 1,500 people in that building that they were turning people away. And we were like the opening match. So like the crowd was hot. They were cheering. They were like super into it. And I was like, this is my moment. This is my moment, like not just for myself, but like my big FU, like I can do this and I'm good at it. So like, I don't care. You can say whatever you want. Like, you're not going to affect me anymore. So I feel like that's why I like put my whole ass out there. Like, literally, I didn't have pants on and figuratively, right? Like, I'm going to go out there and just like show out because I know I can. And my self-confidence has been like in the ground. And I went out there and because you told me I couldn't and was telling people like, oh, I know she's scared. I know she's going to chicken out. She's not going to do it. Now I'm definitely going to do it and I'm going to do it well. So I'm going to show no fear. Yeah, I was terrified, but I tried not to show fear and just do my best. But like, yeah, that was like a really hard time in my life, but that was one of my best moments in wrestling, like having that match, which is crazy.
And the fact that when I feel I can't do something and I didn't know that backstory until right now, that is so crazy. Like, that is so crazy. I get all pumped up. I'm like, no, man, like I can do this.
So I bring Karana with no pants on.
And look, he looks so awesome. And like, that's what I'm saying. Going back to that look. And now hearing that backstory, I love it even more because that douchebag was back there and he was watching and he had to see you go balls out, dude. Good job. Good job. Good job. So
yeah,
here's
it's great.
More CCW talk. I'm sorry, but we have to go there.
That's fine.
But I want to go there in the way of like, you were there like weren't you the only girl for a while?
Yes. So there was another girl that was there before me, this girl, Pandora. And a lot of people don't remember her. I don't think she was like necessarily trained to be in the business. She was kind of just like a girl that came in, I believe. But in that era, which was 2005, 2006 CCW, no girls were allowed. Zandig era, absolutely no women. every once in a while they'll have a stripper come on or something like that, but no women on their actual roster. And I remember going, I want to try to get on those shows. Like, I was just like so determined. I was like straight out of wrestling school, like eager to get on all these shows or whatever, and like wanted to be on CZW. Remember watching CZW on like my local TV late at night and stuff like that. And I was like, I want to try to be part of these shows. And I was really good friends with Black G's, which was he was part of Blackout at the time, and was like, hey, can I like come to the shows and stuff like that? And he would bring me along, and I went there and I met Zandig, and it was a different time then, and I definitely got booked on how I looked and not my talent, but I was determined to show that I deserved to be there just as much as anybody else. And yeah, I was like the longest reigning girl for a while, because then they had girls come in and out, and I mean, they would have, you know, matches here and there and stuff like that, but I was like a staple in CZW for a while. So I was the queen of the combat zone. That was like my moniker for a little bit.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And so when you're in CZW and you're seeing, okay, so did you ever do Beyond?
I went to some Beyond shows, but I actually never like worked.
For some reason, I thought the two were connected somehow. Am I wrong?
So Drew Cordero owned WSU for a while, and he also owns Beyond. So I think maybe that's where you got the connection. Like, he originally owned WSU before DJ took it over. And I know they used to do like, I guess, like exchanging talent, and sometimes they would have a CZW match and a Beyond match, like I guess like intertwining on their shows. But
oh, I thought they were saying so. Oh, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is like, I remember when I knew about CZW, I knew like people that had like been, like I knew from the West Coast that ended up on their shows here and there or whatever. But I didn't know like too much about it. I didn't follow it or anything like that. And so when I met you and I did a couple of shows because of the people I was managing and things like that, that's when I was like, whoa, this reminds me of like a mini, that and Beyond. They both to me felt like in their own ways, like their own mini ECWs. Not the same, but like the way the fans, because ECW, and then there was, are you familiar with XPW?
A little bit.
Yeah. They were kind of the same thing where the fans were just like so hardcore. And it was really cool to see that energy, especially because that was 2013, 14-ish. And so I feel like things kept evolving to where it's just not how it was, especially when it was your era. And then when I met you, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, it wasn't the same as your beginning era, but that vibe was with the fans still kind of there, which was really cool. And then that's what made me want to know more about it. And so you having that pin, don't ever change that clip. It's on your Twitter. Don't ever change it. You're not allowed, because it is so awesome. And I think people need to see that and be reminded of that era and to go back and watch that stuff, because I feel, no offense wrestling today, but it's kind of missing something.
I think the fans just get bored, right? It's like they see so much. You can't do long storylines anymore, right? So they get distracted, they get bored of it. You don't see these like long withstanding feuds like that go a couple months, like not even in like WWE anymore. You see things and it's like maybe a month or two of like matches and promos and backstage stuff, but like you can't hold fans' interest anymore, I noticed. And I don't know if it's because everything is just so oversaturated, especially in indie wrestling. It's like, who could do the biggest spot, who could do the most, like the craziest thing, whether it's hardcore match or women's wrestling or, you know, lucha style or, you know, whatever, like crazy gymnastics. Like everybody is trying to stand out. And then I feel like the fans have just like seen it all, right? You've seen it all. It's like, how can you, you know, outmatch this? How could you outflip this? And it's like, they're spoiled. I feel like the fans are just spoiled. They're like, oh, I already saw this. Oh, I've seen a match like this already. Oh yeah, you got hit with a light tube, but like whatever, you know? And it's like monkeys, you know, like what else can you do to perform for these people to hold their interest? And it's just like you said, it's a different time. And I feel like indie wrestling's so oversaturated with talent that nobody really like has a chance to like stick out like they used to.
That's a really good point. And I can't help but wonder if technology today, even though it helps and serves us in so many ways, if that's part of that demise, because like going back to the spoil part, like back in our day, it was tapes. You know, if you can't see it on your local TV, which is a lot of wrestling you don't get to see, like you gotta get tapes or DVDs eventually. And like now it's just with just not even knowing what you're looking for. You just want to see professional wrestling. You just type it in a search and then you can find whatever you want. So it's crazy because I think about back in the day, how cool it would have been to be able to send people like my matches or promos or whatever, just with the link. But then to your point, maybe that's what's a part of what spoiled these fans. Because I know it also has spoiled people in the business, because some of those people act entitled when they don't. If it was back in the day, they wouldn't have lasted at all. But because they got a YouTube channel or they got numbers on Instagram or like whatever. And so it's like the fans are spoiled. Some of the talent are acting spoiled because there's too much. You're so right, dude. You're so right.
We remember like WWE used to just like scoop up for a bit like all the top indie talent. Like they were taking them all for a while and there was like nobody left. I don't see a lot of that anymore though. Like I mean, yeah, they still obviously are picking indie talent and stuff, but you see them picking like a lot of like athletes, like tennis players and football players, or somebody that was in dance, and they're just like, oh, we'll just teach them how to wrestle. They're athletic, they're naturally athletic, so they can learn how to do this. And then if they don't, then they just move on to the next person. It's just like a constant like rolling wheel, like a hamster wheel. It's just like, oh, you go through this talent and it's like, oh, they're good, oh, they stay or whatever, and it's like, oh, well, they're not that good, just get somebody else to replace them, you know? Like I watch NXT sometimes and like, not that they're not talented, but I don't even know 85% of those people, because I was like, I've never seen them on the indies. And then I'll like look them up and I'm like, they came from nowhere, they came straight out of college or something like that, and they just picked them up.
That's wild to hear, because I didn't realize that. And it makes sense to some of the things I hear and see. That's so crazy. I had no idea. I thought it was still that same formula. And here's the thing. I don't know if this makes me a bitch or what, but maybe does. I get offended, even though I'm not in the business anymore, just because, you know, once a wrestler, always a wrestler. I get a little offended when I see like people like you're talking about, people who are from the outside, especially like all these music people coming in. And I almost feel like, or even it's Logan Paul that's there, right? Not Jake Paul. Okay, I get them mixed up. I'm sure a lot of people, I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Yes.
It's like, I always say this, like I don't like the Paul brothers. I think they're douchebags, but I always knew that they would do well in WWE just because of like how their dad treats them like he's their drill sergeant kind of thing. So even saying that I knew he would do good, I still find offense, because it's like, you're not from here. You're on our turf, YouTube boy. Look, I know he has lots of money and he's way more successful content creating than I ever was, but I don't care. YouTube boy, because that's who he is. YouTube boy running over here trying to play wrestler. Or I know a lot of people, I mean, I know nothing about Jelly Roll. I know more about his wife than him. But it's like, okay, Jelly Roll, stay with your music. This is wrestling, okay? Like, I get offended, but then it's like, you look back, there is that track record of like specifically WWF or E having outsiders come in. But I feel like the outsiders are like coming in too much and staying too long, overstaying their welcome, I guess is what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
who am I? I'm just a disgruntled vampire over here.
But you were there when it was like dog eat dog world, right? It's just like you had to like earn your spot. And it's like, I know it sounds like bitter vet, right? But it's like, it was so different then. I could imagine like WWE was way different than the indies back in the day as far as like earning your spot and earning your respect and things like that. And now it's like you said, these people come in like Logan Paul. And I think Logan Paul is, yeah, he's a douche. He's also incredibly athletic. So when he's in there with somebody that knows what they're doing, knows the business, like Rey Mysterio, he's had really good matches with Rey Mysterio. And I'm like, wow, that was actually a really good match. But then you put him on the mic and he's on the mic for too long. And you could tell he's like bothered by the crowd or certain things. He can't like get back on track. And it's like, that's the wrestling part of it. It's like, he's not been around long enough to understand, you know, how to work the crowd or whatever. And it's like, I know they're trying to drill that into him or whatever, but sometimes like not coming from that wrestling background or being on the indies or whatever, like you're like a deer in headlights. Like you don't know everything. Like, yeah, you could do the flips and the moves, but then when it comes to the actual character, it's like people aren't really going to give a shit about you because you're not believable, you know?
That is such a good point, because typically speaking, when you have somebody that's come from some sort of a wrestling background, I don't even care if you have only a couple years under your belt, you get practice and how get comfortable and learn how to refine those qualities by being in wrestling school, and you work on it, working the shows, you know, and then going outside of your territory and working other places. And with that comes time. It's not a lesser than, it's just time. And so it's like, yeah, dude, I never thought of it that way. It's like, I don't care who YouTube boy thinks he is. He might be something in the social media world and the entrepreneurial world, but as we both know, wrestling is its own entity of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, also, if you were to like throw somebody, because I always equate wrestling with live theater. So it's almost like you have somebody that is used to just like not being in front of a live crowd, having as many takes as they need. They can take a moment. They're going to maybe struggle if they don't have that experience if you throw them in a live theater.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that point you made up, because now to me it's connecting. Here we go.
The tinfoil hat is back.
Connecting more dots. Well, because here's the thing. I used to live by Jake Paul. And man, sometimes I would just be like the subway, and some of his little minions would be there getting the little sandwiches, and they'd be gossiping. Oh, well, Jake today, and then Logan, da da da. So I used to hear their little cronies when they were like away from them. So that's why it hits a little extra with the Jake Pauls. So there, I feel that at least I threw the Paul brothers a positive bone. You just don't know. You just need some more practice, YouTube boy.
Yeah, just maybe work the indies for a while. I remember we filmed for the Wrestler movie at CZW. And when I say it was like, it was fun, but it was also awful because they were filming like the same time. It was like a Cage of Death or whatever. It was an actual show. And then they would film. Mickey Rourke was there and he was great. He also had a stunt double. He didn't do the moves or whatever, which is fine. You're not trying to be a wrestler or whatever. You're there for the role. But it was so much to be like, okay, now we have to stop what we're doing. They have to take up the ring and you have to show them how to do this and show them how to do this. And then it's like 10 or 15 takes or whatever. I think we were there till like 3:00 in the morning because like they're constantly stopping the show and wanted to reshoot stuff. And I understand it's a whole different environment and ball game with movies and stuff like that. But also at the same time, I'm like, why couldn't you just like, instead of like overtaking, like just film somewhere and pretend there was a show and just do it there instead of like coming in and like having all the wrestlers there and just having us keep us there till 3 a.m. and like didn't pay us for it.
Of course.
Like, like then we had to do like these locker room scenes and like you don't even see me in the movie because I think I was in the back because I think at that point I was like, I'm so over the shit. Like, I just want to go home. Like, I just want to go home. This is not wrestling now. This is just Hollywood stuff. And like, yeah, it was exciting at first, but when you're there for like 12 hours and it's like 3 a.m. and you're like, oh, well, we want to get a shot of Mickey Rourke doing this, or his stunt double needs to do this. And you have to explain because they don't know anything about wrestling. It's like, all right, then you kind of get like agitated or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
well, speaking of Mickey Rourke, going back to Jim Carrey and the theory of maybe he just has too much done, because if you look at Mickey Rourke from when he was in his heyday back in the day to like not even current, I mean, it's probably worse now, but to even the wrestler, looks like a completely different person.
yes.
But it's just obviously a lot of work done.
And it happened over course of years, right?
It
wasn't
did.
like all of a sudden, like you see Mickey Rourke and he looks this way, and then like 3 months later, you're like, who is this? It's like, oh, you see like, oh yeah, he's got some work done. Oh, he's got more work done. And it's like,
right.
Yeah.
And again, when Jim Carrey said, the mask I'm wearing now, Jim Carrey, the mask I'm wearing now.
Damn it, James.
So you are now involved in a podcast of types show. Can you please tell us about that? Because I think it's freaking awesome.
So it kind of just fell in my lap. I was asked to be part of a Juggalo JCW podcast with Noel Harlow, called Hatchet Heels and Honeys. It's on the Vince Russo brand, and it's on his Patreon. And we film once a week, and we go over the weekly JCW shows. And I've been friends with Noel for, God, I think since when I started out in the business in like 2005. So I've known Noel for a really long time. And she had just hit me up one day and she was like, hey, like Russo is offering me this podcast and like asked me to like find somebody to do it with. And I really think he would be great for it. And honestly, I was like, I know nothing about JCW. I know nothing about Juggalo wrestling. Not that I dislike it. I have respect for it. I just don't know anything about it. And she's like, oh, it's really fun. Like, you should check it out. So I checked out some of the shows and they're really interesting. Like, a lot of fun. And we've been filming for that. We had a couple guests on. We just had Joe Dombrowski on this past week. It's coming out on Monday, and he is just a wrestling historian. I don't know if you know Joe Dombrowski, but he has done commentary all over Dragon Gate, Ring of Honor. He does for JCW. He has been around for a really long time, and he's just full of wrestling knowledge. He was really fun to talk to. We also had Barnabas the Bazaar, and he was really interesting to talk to. He was fun. And we had Jasmine St. Clair, and I've actually never met Jasmine and had a pleasure of talking to Jasmine. So we kind of just like connected instantly. So she actually asked me to be on her show coming up in the future. So I definitely am excited for that. And yeah, we just kind of just talk about Juggalo wrestling and what's going on. They have like some really fun shows coming up. I think they're part of Mania Weekend. They have a really big show coming up Mania Weekend. And yeah, but I won't put on the makeup. They've been asking for the makeup. They're like, when's Chrissy gonna put on the makeup? And like Violent J and all them. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
What's the hesitation?
So I have a fear of clowns.
Oh my goodness. No way.
Yeah. So I have a phobia of clowns. It's gotten better over the years, but I even put out a disclaimer on our first episode. I was like, I really wasn't familiar with JCW because I have a phobia of clowns. And she was like, what? And I said, yeah, like when I was a kid, Pennywise, like was it for me, like traumatized by Pennywise. Now I do better with it or whatever, but I was like, I have a thing with clowns, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to do the makeup. Also, the patience of putting it on and taking it off. Like Noelle does it every week, and I think she did it twice this past week for another show. And I'm like, I give you all the credit in the world, because that's a lot to be putting on all that grease paint and then having to take it all off. Like, it's a little much for me. So I don't know. Never say never, but I do have fun with it. It is fun to talk about the shows, and the shows are really fun and interesting, and they have a lot of crazy characters. Think of like, I mean, it's Vince Russo, right? So think of like WCW back in the day with the crazy characters and stuff like that. You got zombies, not just clowns. Like, you have a wrestler named Cocaine on there. He's a fan favorite. So all types of stuff. You have PCO, Jasmine's on there. Big Vito is a very big part of it. Kerry Morton is on there, and makes me feel really old because he's in his early 20s. So he's Morton's son. And yeah, I mean, the shows are really fun. So I'm enjoying it so far.
So, do you know I don't know if you know the answer to this, but so I know that they've been doing JCW for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so is it just like gone through some kind of revamp or something, or is it just under my radar more now because people that I know are involved?
It could be that one. They do shows in like multiple cities, so they do travel and things like that. And they have this weekly show that they promote a lot. And now they're doing the stuff with Mania and GCW. Like, they're part of that whole Mania weekend. So I think they are getting more spotlight lately. So that could be why you're seeing them. Or it could be because I retweet, the stuff on
Well, here's the thing.
Twitter.
It's no offense to it, because I have done the gathering a couple times. I've wrestled there.
Mhm.
And going back to, there's a promotion in Northern California called Hood Slam. So it's like, and Hood Slam really brought me back to life when I went back to the Indies version 2.0. So Hood Slam, CZW, Beyond, those were like, I resonated so much with those because of like just the vibe in those different shows and how the fans or whatever. And then when I did my first gathering show, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like crazy. Like,
Mhm.
this is freaking awesome. Like, how invested. And like, I think what it is I love wrestling that makes me feel like a fan again, based on like the energy that's there. So I'm not like, oh, they weren't under. It's just, I guess I kind of forgot about it, but maybe that's because, I mean, hello, I've been out of wrestling for a long time, so it wasn't under my radar. So in my head, I was like, did it go away for a little bit and then it came back? But now it makes sense. It's just, I was just out of the loop because I got out of wrestling. So there you have it. But I think it's so cool that you're involved because of that, what I just said about those specific companies and how CZW equaled that for me, and you are the queen of CZW. I don't know, it's just all I'm over here like flabbergasted because it's like all these dots are hold on.
The dots are connecting.
All the dots are connecting. It's tripping me the F out right now. It's a little too much on this Monday, but it makes so much sense. Anyways, so I don't know. I selfishly wish, so their show's going to be in Vegas. Is it for, or are they going to have it somewhere else for me?
Yeah, it's going to be in Vegas. I think it's at midnight. I forget what day it is. I have to go back and look at it, but I think they're running a midnight show that weekend.
And there's no way you'd be there, huh?
I wish I could. I said, if this podcast keeps going and it's really good, I heard Violent J really likes it, And Vince Russo really like it so far. If it keeps going and they invite me to a show, like maybe I'll be able to come out and like see a show live, or if they're in the area, because they run a lot of Florida shows, and like they were in Detroit in that area for a while. So I'm like, oh, maybe like eventually I'll get to travel out there. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Here's my wish for you. That the podcast continues and continues to grow and does really well for all of you. And then when they invite you to come, that it'll be at Mania so that you could go over there and I can try to figure out my schedule so that I could see you while you're there. That's my selfish wish for myself. But really, I want all of you guys to do well because I think it's so... Is it okay to say it's cute? Like, I think it looks so cute, like the whole thing. And I don't know, because there's like, you got Noelle and she's like in theme. And now it makes sense that you told us about your fear. But then it's like you bring this whole other energy to it. It's just so freaking cute. I love it. So where can people find this podcast again?
So it's on Vince Russo brand on his Patreon. So if you go to vincerussobrand.com, you could go to his Twitter account. He promotes it all the time. You could go to my Twitter account. Hello, Chrissy. I promote it. It comes out every Monday. The shows, JCW, they are usually out on Thursdays. So you could watch it then. And then we try to get an episode out on Monday. But yeah, it's fun. And I think that's where I'm at in my life, where it's like, I'm not really involved in wrestling, but people keep pulling me back in. Right. So you always get pulled back in, and it's like, I always go, I'm done with wrestling. That's it. I'm done. And then like, my friend Missy Sampson, she was running a women's show for a while. She asked me to do commentary and I loved it. So I did that for a while. And then I was like, all right, well now I'm done. I'm not doing any more wrestling. And then Noelle was like, hey, like I got this podcast. And I'm like, here we go again. I'm getting pulled right back into the wrestling business, but we have fun. And I was like, as long as I'm like having fun with it and having a good time and getting to do it with people that I actually enjoy, because I just don't have the patience for it anymore. I don't know if it's an age thing or it's just like a patience thing where it's just like, if I don't like you and I don't, I can't smile to your face and be like, all right, I'm going to do it for the show. Like,
Right.
Like, I'd rather just not do the show or be on the show or be part of your locker room. Like, I'm going to do stuff. If you see me do stuff, it's because I actually enjoy being around those people. So like, that's it. That's where I am in my life. I'm like, if they're like, oh, well, this person's going to be there, I know you don't like them, then I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Either that or I'll go. And then if I say something, you can't get mad because I said something.
Well, here's the thing. I think there's absolutely nothing effing wrong with that at all. And maybe wrestling pulling you back in these positive ways is wrestling's way of saying, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So here. I'm sorry. So here.
I feel like wrestling. I mean, what do you always hear? Like, wrestling doesn't owe you anything. It was here before you. It'll be here after you. It doesn't owe you anything. So, but maybe it's
no, it owes us. It owes us, and it knows.
My blood, sweat, and tears somehow come back and give me something, right?
Because you know why? The wrestling entity's a man. That's why. It's a man. So it knows and it owes us and it's sorry. So I'd like to think that it's apologizing to you in little bits here and there so you get some of your joy back that it stole from you.
Yeah, I could say that.
All right. Well, thanks for talking some shit with me. Where can people find you online if they want to see what kind of other shit you'll be talking about?
I mean, I mostly talk my shit on Twitter. Hello, Chrissy is my handle. I don't call it X, I call it Twitter. And I do have an Instagram, which is hello_Chrissy_. I do post a lot of boring and private life stuff on there. So if you don't mind seeing that, I mean, it's not really filled with wrestling stuff, but those are the two places that you can find me.
It'll always be Twitter.
It will
always be Twitter. So the reason why because at first I was like, okay, I'm going to do a couple more episodes that were the OG episodes, and then I'm going to put this episode out before we recorded. That was my thought process of like recording with Chrissy, right? Before we recorded. But when we did, that's when this whole thing with the Jim Carrey it was so new. I know it's been around now and I'm late and I should have had this episode out before, but I did put a teaser on the Monty and the Pharaoh channel, so go check it out. And I was like, dude, we got to talk about this now. But ma'am, long story short, my life has just been crazy. So I'm just getting to it now. I can't tell you how many times I've attempted to record tonight, but I think it's fine and dandy like sour candy, because even though I don't feel 100% and I wish I did, I wish I looked more lively, I just gained a lot from today and having to pull it together. And I look forward to revisiting all these moments and when I edit stuff. Because, dude, I've talked about it many times here on Vampire Radio and all my podcasts. I like a good Shelley McFly moment. You know, when I get to, that's what podcasting has done for me, because back in 2017 on my Patreon, I started to do, what did I start with? Was it Fun Time Radio I was starting with? Or was it the Wake and Bake? I think it was a Wake and Bake morning show. And I was putting out episodes Monday through Friday. I would record at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then as soon as I was done, I would edit the episode and then put it up on Patreon. It was a lot of work, but man, my site was thriving at that time, not only monetarily, but the community that we built, me and my secret society. Oh my gosh. And like, and it's a lot on me. I made so many different changes and this, that, and the other. And I've been trying to get it back to those days. Those were the days. So one of the things that's been the common denominator because before, my first podcast I had was Fun Time Radio, which was a live show on Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio. Who out there knows Blog Talk Radio? So that was like my first one. And then when I went and had it on Patreon, when I was editing everything, it was so crazy because even though it happened that day, whatever I talked about, my sister Danielle was on a lot of them with me, whatever we talked about. When I got to the point of my day when I was editing said parts, it's like I needed to hear those moments again, and I would look at it in a different way. And I swear to you, broadcasting and having to edit my own stuff, so revisiting it, especially when I've been notorious in the Secret Society community. So if you've been with me in the Secret Society, you've been watching this, and you've been with me for a long time, since the 2017-ish, there's times that I get behind, just like with Vampire Radio right now. I get behind, I stress myself out and give myself a hard time. But what's so interesting is what I've learned in the past is every single time that I didn't get it done what I was hoping or aiming for, when I do edit the material, I needed to hear those words from my own mouth, Shelley McFlying into time, at that moment, because it meant whatever happened between the like that time where I like been freaking out because I'm like, oh, it's not done yet. All this stuff happens, and then my whole frame of mind is changed at the point where I'm editing stuff. So that's what my Shelley McFly moment, and that's why I'm so passionate about doing, online shows, podcasts, whatever you want to call it. And long live. So be patient with me. I have a couple more. I even have a guest. It's going to be awesome to dive into that. Some little tinfoil hat talk and so much more. So make sure you are subscribed here on the Monty and the Pharaoh channel. So not only you don't miss a Vampire Radio, but all the other cool stuff that Monty and the Pharaoh have going on their channel. Go check it out. You won't be disappointed. Speaking of, make sure you are also subscribed on my main channel on YouTube, which is Shelley Martinez's channel. Not only will you see all the craziness that is my life that I have up there, but you will also see my other show, which is TMI. I love that show so much, just as much as Vampire Radio. They're two different entities, and that's why I love them so much. So if you're here watching Vampire Radio, you want to go check out TMI. If you're watching this because of TMI, you're going to want to go check out Vampire Radio. So make sure you're following. And if I'm confusing the F out of you, just to go to ShellyMartinez.com/links. Everything's there listed for you, nice and organized, so you can't miss an update. You can't miss an update, so you won't miss an update. Well, that's all I got in me, so I am going to tap the F out. I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and until next week, I'm Shelley from Cali. They're the podcast dogs, and we'll be smelling you later. Adios. Hurry back, and remember to bring your death certificates. Hurry back.
You a little bit nervous today?
Feel great.